this is Game Collector, and welcome to my 25th episode, Seeker Special Part 1. Or, if I do this just right, it'll be just one entire video. And chances are, it probably will be. And, as you can clearly see here, what I was talking about last week, these are the 6 figures that pretty much anyone would want, though, when it comes down to it, if you have to have half of the set, you get these 3. Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. The ones in the back are Thrust, Ramjet, and Dirge. Now, these figures, again, are sought after because these 3 were made mass-produced, but Skywarp was a Target exclusive, and, well, people who didn't get him back then are kind of upset. Now, these 3 were originally released as BotCon exclusives, and then Takara had to go and mass-produce these 2, and then Hasbro took them, and I hope you can look. You might as well just look up the history of this on the Transformers wiki site, because that probably will do a better job explaining it than I am right now. But to start things off, I'm going to get rid of these 3 right off the bat. I'll get to them. Yeah, this is basically a 6-figure review, so let me lower the camera so you guys can see them better. Oh, maybe not that much better. These 3 figures, well, are basically identical and are simply recolors of one another. Or recolors of him. But, to get started, we're going to start with Starscream. Move Skywarp and Thundercracker off to the side. You know, not particularly in that order, though. Start by removing these little missile launchers. Starscreams have a hair trigger to them. Hold these up. Hold these to the sides, and then down, and up, pull down the feet, set them down, pull this part open, which is, the one thing I like about this line is, far better than the G1 figures, is because the hands are built into the toy. Now, this is the classic Starscream, not the Universe 2.0 classic Starscream, which I apparently will buy the same figure 3 times over, provided that it's a separate character, but I will not buy it over just to get a brand new print. And there he is in robot mode, but without weapons, and now he has weapons. I think this is my 2nd classics figure ever. I'll get to my first ones at a later date. And there he is in robot mode, and essentially with Skywarp and Thundercracker, it's the same transformation too, so I might as well just do that right now. Although you don't always have to do them in the same order, I like to change it up a bit. Again, they are all the exact same mold. Okay. Now I'm just pulling his arms out, blah blah blah. Wish I had editing software so I could just skip this over because you already saw that part. But to get down to it, you guys everyone pretty much knows who Starscream is. He's a backstabbing, conniving jerk. If Megatron is doing something, he'll point it out, tell him it's wrong, and then try to backstab him and steal credit. At which point he fails miserably. Because he's Starscream. Really. And this is Skywarp. Now, those of you who don't know him, and my god, if you don't, then I don't know why you're watching this. He's the immature one. He'll kick you down. He'll teleport up the stairs just so he can kick you down. And finally, Thundercracker. Again, all the same, blah blah blah, wings, sides, so on. These are the original Seekers, so they came first. The other three that you saw at the beginning, they didn't show up in the original G1 cartoon until the second season. Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker were all in the show pretty much up until the movie. But they were the essential three. And now they're even more essential because, you know, Seekers. And for some reason on my Thundercracker, the back doesn't always want to go in, and now it does. Now it is. And the nose cone tip on Thundercracker is particularly softer than with Starscream or Skywarp. And yeah, the original three Seekers, and Thundercracker also has some standing issues. All of them have the exact same articulation. Knee, foot, shoulder, head, and maybe wrist and elbow, which causes that to fall off. The guns do hinder arm articulation quite a bit, but really, these three guys are all the exact same figure, and yes, I have all three of them. And no, I didn't go to BotCon or pay huge amounts of money, but I waited a very long time, and patience seems to pay off in the long run. And there you go. That's the original three Seekers. I'm not going to read any bios for these guys, because they're the original three Seekers. Why would I have to? If you don't know who they are, then my God, why are you into Transformers then? I'm going to move these guys off to the side and get to the other three Seekers, the Season 2 onward Seekers. That would be Thrust, Ramjet, and Dirge. And I will bring the other three back, yes, in their robot modes, to show you comparisons and so on. Now I'm going to start off with Thrust. Thrust is somewhat unique. All three of them have own unique gimmicks, unlike the other ones. Thrust has these little VTOL thrusters that can be moved from his wing and onto these panels right here, which makes him look really, really dorky. I mean, why would you want to put them back here? That doesn't even look right. So I just take them and leave them up here to make them look show accurate. And yes, the little thruster on the inside does... Oh, no, it doesn't. I thought it... Huh. I used to think it could spin. I don't know why I thought it could spin. Oh, yes, it does spin. It just takes like a toothpick or something. Let me get a toothpick. Yeah, they do spin. Cool. Sweet. But, you know, not that you're going to use it, not that you're actually going to try to make it spin unless, you know, stop action recording or something. So, again, these guys all transform pretty much the same way as the other three guys did, so pull those off. Move the toothpick, obviously, out of camera sight. Pull those off. Pull these up. Now the difference is you do not mess with these. You do not mess with the little tail end of the legs. Pull out feet. And then hold this up. Hold in the wheels, of course. And the arms. And fists. Now on mine, his right arm is actually loose a bit, not dangerously gonna fall off and break loose, it's just really loose. And another comment is, if you look on his chest, you can see that right there, or better yet, I'm going to like put him in a half transformation here. If you look in the jet's cockpit, it's chromed. this was a carryover because this is the Takara mode. I do believe this is the Takara mode. I'm not sure. Oh, it uses, yeah, it's a 2006 mold. Wait, I don't think that's a good thing. Anyway, the, right there is chromed, which was a carryover from the Takara version of Thrust. Why do I keep trying to fold his head back? Because I just transformed 3 identical figures. And I do not have the BotCon version, but obviously I can tell you the differences right now. His face is white instead of black, and of course these can be removed. The wings are also shaped much, much differently. And he's also much cheaper. No, I'm sorry. I couldn't help but make that really bad joke. That's the obvious difference for collectors. Granted, if you have, like, the BotCon version, he's going to run you up maybe, like, a couple $100, like 1 or 2. Well, I got this guy for, like, about 10 or 12. And now we move on to Dirge, which was actually my... Yeah, this is the last guy I got for the Conehead Seeker set, and the 5th Seeker for my collection. And, yeah, again... Now, another difference is this guy doesn't have big wings at all. Instead, they're just on the backs, there's heels. Instead, he has these little tumbly thingies on his back, which don't really look all that big, nor do they look intimidating. But the advantage of that is they don't hinder his arm movement when you give him weapons. That's another, yeah, that's something else that I'll get onto when I get to Ramjet. Just go ahead, put it in. And another difference is he's also the only Seeker out of all 6 to have the Decepticon symbol on his chest. And you put that there. And here. And again, Thrust is the only one who has wings on his back, while he still can have his weapons dangle from his feet like we're going to get to with Ramjet. Each of the Conehead Seekers, as they have come to be called, has leg-equipable weapons and are well known for obviously having the Conehead-shaped head. The cone-shaped head, of course, yes, that. And now, again, he does not have back wings, he has little tiny back flaps. Now, with Ramjet, for better posability, or better balance through posability, as soon as I get his fat lined up correctly, you not only pull out his feet, but you also take these wing pieces and fold them back. Ramjet also has the unique honor of having the, well, insert obvious joke here. He has gigantic missiles. Let me compare one with one of Dirge's. The rest, all of the Seekers, save for Ramjet, have this shaped missile. Ramjet has this big fat thing. I would make an obvious joke, but I'm not going to go there. I'm sure people have already made that joke, and I am not going to go there. I have more class than that. And, again, these 3 are, unlike the original 3 Seekers, these 3 have a bit more individuality amongst each of them, aside from, like, being, like, black and blue or something. Dirge has the honor of having the big orange wings attached to his feet. And of course, the little tiny fin things on their backs don't really hinder their arm movement as much as they would with, say, this guy, who you have to literally tilt his entire wing back if you want his arm to move at all. They all have the same leg movement and stuff, but again, same proportions and things. Same posability, knees, sideways, elbow, so forth. But again, it's just the whole individuality thing. This guy has the VTOL thrusters in the back wings. This guy has the big, huge wings that, while you shouldn't, you can turn them into giant skis. They lock back into place. It's not broken. Giant hole right there. And, yep, clip back in. You can do the same thing with Ramjet. Again, I don't really approve of it. But you can give them the giant skis. I prefer to just fold them back to keep them out of the way. And now let's bring in the original three Seekers. Thrust and Starscream both have red. And Skywarp and Ramjet, if you can see them, you probably can't. Let me raise the camera back up. So you can get a view of all six when I get them into the group shot. And then, of course, you have Dirge and Thundercracker, who, while similar shades of blue, Thundercracker actually looks more polished off. And this would be the entire set of 6 Seekers. And they don't want to stand up or stay together. They really don't like each other that much, as it appears to be. Or they just don't like the table surface. I don't know, it could be one or the other. Considering that these 6 alone, regardless of whether or not you got the BotCon set or not, these guys can go, at least I'm assuming this, would probably go for a lot of money to a collector who doesn't have any of them, or is like missing just one of them, and couldn't get them because these 3 came out in the Classics era. They are no longer in production. Ramjet, Skywarp. Skywarp was an exclusive, which makes them pretty much rarer. These 3 didn't come out until recently. They're a little bit easier to find. This one, a little bit harder. I don't know about him. It took me a while to find Thundercracker. But still, these 6 are like, if you're a collector, they're essential. Just so you can have a Decepticon Seeker set. Let me pull the camera up. Skywarp's head was not in the shot, and so on, so on. But yeah, if you want to collect Decepticons, good luck finding all 6 of these guys. It took me, I got Starscream when he came out, and I got him like a couple months ago, or a month ago or something. Hoy. And that's really all I can say. These guys are like self-explanatory. Or you look them up. I mean, there's just too much to go into on these guys. If I wanted to make like a single episode for just one of them, that would be like a half-hour special in and of itself. And I suppose that's it for the Seeker special. See you next week with more videos. Later.